If you would like some good quality anime merch and you want to support the channel, you can go to the link in the description below to go to Beautiful Halo, and you can get some good quality anime merch. Don't forget to use code MEME for 5% off on your next $49 plus order and 10% off on your next $99 plus order. Anywho, let's get into the video. Welcome back, guys. This is THEKINGofWEEBS here, and this is What If Naruto Went Back in Time Part 2. Last time we left off with Naruto actually, saving Team 7 from Orochimaru, and now Team 7 actually, passed their second phase of their exam, the Forest of Death part, and his ways. After this, Team 7 takes this time to rest, and Sasuke still gets his curse mark sealed away by Kakashi. But anywho, after this, of course, Naruto continues his training on his own, and of course, a few days later, they announced the preliminaries as Naruto was expecting. Anywho, after this, now Naruto, who has been waiting to actually do the preliminaries and actually beat Kiba. Here, Naruto actually finished Kiba with a lot more finesse, because people know that Naruto is not weak. Well, most of his teammates know. Well, his teammates know that Naruto's not weak, and if Naruto won it any other way, they would think, why is he not trying or anything? Maybe it was someone else, not Naruto. But of course, it is what it is. Anyway, after this, Naruto, finished off his fight, and then saw the next few fights. Of course, Hinata's fight went the same way, and here Naruto got pretty pissed off, that Neji, and so he actually stopped it. And anywho, the next fights go the same, and here Sakura, I'll have to make up an excuse for Sakura that actually she loses, and I'll say that she actually got injured during the Forest of Death arc. Oh well, not arc, but still during this time, and that's why she actually wasn't able to beat but if she was at full capacity, or not full capacity, but I mean like at full power, she really could have finished easily. Anywho, after this, of course, all the fights went the same, and Lee's fight went the same, and Naruto remembered how Gaara was back in the days before he actually beat him, but still he kind of was sad for Gaara that he still has no friends here, and so he wants to become Gaara's friend, and his ways, but he still has to go through this the same process, but he doesn't really want to let Hokage die. That is something that he's been thinking about for a while, and so he's actually been talking to Kurama about it, and he's asking, should I save the Hokage? And Kurama says, it's your choice, Naruto, it's not mine. And so Naruto actually decides that he would save the Hokage by actually, trying to help out Gaara, but of course Gaara keeps ignoring him. And here Naruto really doesn't need Jiraiya's help, but he still needs to see Jiraiya, because he doesn't know if since he's back in this he went back in time, and he doesn't know if him being back in time might have changed the events, or how the events went in this timeline, in his own timeline, and maybe this timeline is different, something like that. He can't really be sure about it. And remember, Naruto is pretty wise, and plus he got the wiseness of the Sage of Six Paths, and so he actually wants to go and meet Jiraiya, and so he actually still bumps into him, and he's relieved that nothing happened to Jiraiya, because he doesn't want Jiraiya to die at all. Here Naruto will not let Jiraiya die, and he will save him, but he still needs to somehow show to the villagers that he is not the demon that they think he is, and so he will still have to allow Pain to destroy the village, and still talk no jutsu, Naga, to something similar to this. He's already thinking ahead, but this is in a few years. But anywho, of course, Naruto then spends this time actually faking that he doesn't know many things, but of course Naruto already has the summoning jutsu, and here the elder toad, like the elder toad, actually knows about Naruto's existence, well, Naruto's true identity now, and so he actually keeps a secret from the other toads. But it is what it is. The other toads don't really know, they forgot everything about Naruto, but it is what it is. Of course, Naruto fakes that he didn't have the summoning jutsu, and he fakes that he actually gets it in a few tries, and at first he wasn't even trying, and he was just trying to summon Gamakichi. And since Gamakichi is actually a lot smaller here, he has to use a lot less chakra, because if you use the same exact chakra as he uses back in his own timeline, he would just summon Gamabunta instead, because Gamakichi takes the same amount of chakra as Gamabunta nowadays. But of course he's still small here. Anywho, now of course Naruto keeps training with Jiraiya, but he takes his time here, and he takes this time to actually just be spend time with Jiraiya instead, and just catch up or know a bit more about Jiraiya, and things that he didn't know, he actually learnt them here. Like for example, how Jiraiya actually likes Tsunade. Naruto actually never knew that he actually liked Tsunade. He just thought he was a pervert and he'd like any woman that has big breasts, but of course that's a lie. Jiraiya clearly had that. It was so obvious that he liked Tsunade. Even like in the flashbacks with Jiraiya, it was shown that he liked Tsunade in more of an intimate way. But it is what it is. Now of course Naruto trained with Jiraiya for a full month, and now the Chunin exam finals begin. Of course his fight is the first one, and here Naruto doesn't actually allow Neji to get too much of an upper hand, because he doesn't know if he changed the timeline, and here people are stronger than his own timeline. And of course he doesn't allow Neji to get any hits on him, and actually shows Neji that hard work can actually beat natural talent. And so Neji actually understood his lesson, and that Naruto taught him. And of course now he doesn't believe that being if you're a prodigy, if you're born with power, is what it is, and if you're not born with power, you can't get any. But of course I don't even really understand how he used to think that. Like, did you see Lee? Like, Lee nearly annihilated Gaara. Like, he technically did. But of course, Gaara went into his he went on his rampage and that. But still, but like, how can you be so stupid? But yeah, anywho, of course, I'm not trying to hate on Neji. Like, I love Neji myself, but still, anywho, now Naruto, of course, then sees the next few fights, like Shikamaru's, and remembers how freaking OP Shikamaru was, and like how much potential Shikamaru truly had. But of course Naruto can't really do much about it, and so he actually decides to train Shikamaru even harder than what he was already meant to do, because he was already training Shikamaru. Remember, he still motivated Shikamaru to train, and here Shikamaru was actually a lot stronger, and he did actually give up in the Chunin exams, because he wanted to show to Naruto that the training that they did together is actually going paid off. And of course he doesn't want to let down Naruto, because he's expecting the big things from him and Choji. Of course, since Choji actually won his fight, and well, Choji, sorry, he still lost his fight. Remember, he was just as strong as the guy that actually won, but in the end he got killed by Gaara at night, like per normal. But it is what it is. Anywho, after this, of course, the next fight was a stalemate. No, not a stalemate. It was actually won by Shino, because Conqueror actually gave up. But it is what it is. Now, after this, how Conqueror didn't want to fight. Sasuke was still late here, and he actually arrived right in the last moment, and he actually learned a few new jutsus. For example, a jutsu that he actually learned was the lightning. He actually learned how to do the lightning blade, and that is something that isn't going to be easy to pull off, especially against Gaara. And but he knows the Chidori and everything, and so he also learned something else. He learned how to use the lightning hound. So basically, it's the the hound that the technique that Kakashi used against the pain, the Tendo pain, and the Naraka Path, but his ways, Diva Path and Naraka Path. And then, of course, he learned a few new jutsus. For example, one of the jutsus that he actually learned was, sorry, he actually learned the lightning cable, something that Kakashi used in the war arc. I'm pretty sure it was against the Jinchuriki, the Edo Jinchuriki by his ways. Anywho, after this, the fight begins, and here the events kind of go similar to the original. You know how Sasuke kind of annihilates Gaara, and Gaara goes into his rampage, and Sasuke really stands no chance, even with his two Tomoe Sharingan right now. Of course, he stands no chance anyways. Sasuke still follows, Gaara, and here Naruto really doesn't want to let Sasuke get hurt, but at the same time he needs to save the Hokage, and somehow he needs to do both at the same time. Of course, then Naruto sees that the Hokage was about to get sealed away, well, stopped from getting helped, like in the original, how the Hokage was trapped by the sound for. And so what he did is that he body flickered into the Hokage's, he actually made a clone, sorry, and the clone body flickered into next to the Hokage right before the burial was finished. And so now Naruto and the Hokage were together, and basically, of course, Naruto then explains to the Hokage that he will be helping the Hokage, and the Hokage tells Naruto to get out, but of course Naruto doesn't want to listen because he doesn't want the Hokage to die, because he knows in this fight the Hokage would die, and he's more than capable enough to actually take care of two reanimated shinobi, even though he doesn't know about the reanimated shinobi, uh he wasn't there to see Hashirama and Tobirama fighting, and he wasn't told about that, and so he wasn't expecting Hashirama and Tobirama to actually come out and be saying that, wait, what? How, what are the first and second Hokage doing here? But his ways, and then realizes that Orochimaru must have used an early version of the Edo Tensei, because they are not as strong as they were in the War Arc. But his ways, anywho, after this, Naruto and the Hokage continued fighting. Well, Naruto actually saved the Hokage, while then he actually went off to fight Gaara, and that fight actually went exactly the same. Naruto actually summoned Gamabunta, because he still needs to make that bond with Gamabunta, and that trust that Gamabunta gets from this fight. He actually trusts Naruto, and he actually respects him for actually fighting so well against the Jinchuriki and its tail beast. And in the end, Naruto still becomes friends with Gaara, and he actually knows what will happen to Gaara in the future, and he cannot really stop that, because the War Arc was something that he cannot stop. He has to do the War Arc, because a lot of people got the development, and Sasuke still needs to get his boost from there. And yeah, Naruto still needs to unlock the chakra of Ashura, because remember, even though Naruto already unlocked it, he still needs to unlock the chakra of all the tail beasts, because that is something Naruto didn't get once he actually returned back in time by his ways. After this, anywho, Naruto and his friends still celebrate Naruto's win against Gaara and everything, and Gaara still apologizes to Lee, and Lee is fine with it. He's like, oh, it's okay, there's no need to apologize to me. And basically, of course, the Hokage wants to retire as the third Hokage, and asks Jiraiya to become the Hokage, and here Jiraiya actually accepts, and that is something that Naruto didn't realize that happened. Naruto was told a bit later, after the celebrations with his friends, and once he was told, Naruto was really worried, because the timeline has changed. Naruto didn't want the timeline to change, like Jiraiya wasn't meant to become the Hokage, but then Naruto understood that he can't really do anything about that. After all, maybe this was what would have happened in his own timeline if the Hokage survived, and if someone was actually able to help the Hokage. But it is what it is. Of course, here Orochimaru never lost his arms. He actually just escaped once realizing that Naruto was too strong, and finding out that Naruto is something different. But of course, it is what it is now. Of course, now. Sorry, I said of course now twice. But it is what it is now. Lee still needs his treatment, and so here, Jiraiya asks the Hokage if he can just be the Hokage for a bit longer, so then he can actually help Lee get his treatment by actually bringing back Tsunade as the fifth Hokage. Since he is the fifth Hokage, Tsunade must listen to him, not her. But his ways. Once he actually goes to Tsunade, Naruto goes with him, and here, right before they leave, of course, the Akatsuki still arrives, and since the Hokage is not dead, they actually go undercover, and they don't actually fight But it is what it is. Sasuke still comes to know about the Akatsuki, because the Akatsuki actually was found out in the end. But of course, they didn't fight. They actually just escaped because Itachi actually told the uh Kisame not to begin a fight, because they don't know if the Hokage actually joins the fight, it's going to be pretty much over for them. And so Kisame and Itachi leave. Anywho, after this, now that Kisame and Itachi left, Sasuke actually comes to find out about this by a few rumors going around, and so he gets kind of pissed off. But it is what it is. This is just what happens in the original. And Naruto, since he never really had to master the Rasengan, and here he actually has multiple types of Rasengan. For example, well, of course he had multiple types of Rasengan, but of course here he actually has the one Rasengan that his own son had, and that's something that his own son taught him. And of course his own son taught him that he's not a good father at all, and Naruto needs to become a better father, and something that he's going to change in the future. But it is what it is now. After this, Naruto, instead of actually training in the Rasengan, because Naruto has already told uh, what's his name, Jiraiya, that he knows the Rasengan, and that is something that Jiraiya was confused about. But then Naruto said that he'll explain later on how he learned it. But it is what it is. Anywho, of course, Jiraiya goes off to make his own research, but during this time, Naruto knew that he was going to get attacked by Kisame and Itachi, and here is where the things start to change. Naruto actually wants to ask Itachi if he wants to come back to the village, because he knows that Sasuke will be heartbroken if Itachi actually dies, and he actually wants to change something and do something good. Of course, Naruto, what he did at first is that he made a clone, and the clone actually was so strong that it kicked Kisame away. And of course Kisame wanted to fight Naruto with Itachi, because in case they need to escape or something, but of course the clone did not allow it. But it is what it is. Of course, during this time, Naruto told Itachi that he knows everything about him, and Itachi asks how, and of course Naruto says, I'm not going to tell you, and Itachi then says, then I will kill you before you tell anyone. And basically then Naruto's like, Itachi Uchiha, if I tell you, would you believe me? If I told you that I come from the future, would you believe that and basically, of course, Itachi at first is like, what do you mean you came from the future? And then basically Naruto is like, alright, then let me show you. And of course Naruto really doesn't have a Sharingan or a Rinnegan to actually send Itachi into a hallucination or something. But of course Naruto, what he does is that he actually uses the power of the Sage of Six Paths to actually show. Naruto uses the Sage of Six Paths powers to actually show Itachi everything that happened in his time, and how he all ended, how Sasuke got decapitated and everything. And Itachi wants nothing, like literally he doesn't want that to happen. And so now Naruto and Itachi actually know about the future, and actually become two partners. And yeah, anywho, of course Itachi then decides to escape, and Naruto says that he'll come and get him once he's 16. Well, not 16, like, I'm pretty sure, 16. The war, Naruto, the war ended when he was 17, anywho. Now, let me quickly make sure of that. Yeah, on the day that they win the war, he was 17, anywho. So he'll bring him back when he's 16, and he'll help Sasuke, find the right way. But it is what it is. But, of course, he warns, Itachi that Sasuke will have a rough, future to get to the power that he's on, and he will find out about what the Hanzo did, because Itachi's seen everything, and he accepts the way Sasuke went at first. But of course he doesn't want him, he still wants Sasuke to end up the way he was at the how he died, trying to protect the village that Itachi tried to protect and everything. But it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto saw that my guy came, and of course Sasuke came right before Itachi actually escaped. But Itachi does the same thing that he did in the original to Sasuke, and puts him in the Genjutsu and then just leaves. And Sasuke is the only one in the Genjutsu, and so they don't really know if Sasuke needs Tsunade's treatment, but they'll have to bring back Tsunade fully anyway. And Naruto needs Lee Lee is really important to the Leaf Village. Remember, I'm pretty sure in Boruto, Lee is one of the strongest villagers, or shinobi, because of the nightly. I'll call him nightly. Anywho, now of course Naruto. After this, he has finished. No, sorry. He has finished. Most of the things that he wanted to change. For example, Itachi, bring him back to the Leaf Village and everything. But it is what it is. Anywho, now of course Naruto still has a few things to do. With Itachi not with Itachi. Sorry, a few things to do. In this timeline, and then he has to let everything run on its own. But it is what it is. Anywho, after this, now Naruto actually, talks to Jiraiya about things like the Rasengan, the new Rasengan that he has developed himself, and yeah, of course, Jiraiya's like, nice Naruto, very nice. But it is what it is. Anywho, now of course, Naruto and Jiraiya actually then find Tsunade a few days later, and of course here Tsunade still badmouths the Hokage, and Naruto actually decides to challenge her because he still kind of got pissed off at Tsunade badmouthing the Hokage, and of course that's something that Naruto can't stop. It's something that Naruto will always have to stop Tsunade from doing, because Naruto hates it, and it is what it is. Of course, Jiraiya being the fifth Hokage now, and Tsunade calls him a fool too, and then Naruto then says you should have been the Hokage, and basically Jiraiya says this, and basically now Tsunade is like, I would have never accepted, and basically Jiraiya is like, even if our own master asked us, our own sensei, the person that taught you all the things basically, and Tsunade is like, God damn it! Do you really have to bring that old geezer in this? And of course, Tsunade is pretty pissed off at Jiraiya for bringing in he reason into this, and basically that's unfair, and it is what it is. Anywho, now Naruto still challenges, Tsunade to a battle. Well, Tsunade challenges Naruto because, how she gets pissed off at Naruto. But it is what it is. Now, after this, Naruto actually shows off the Rasengan, and how he annihilates, Tsunade. And yeah, of course, Tsunade was like, who taught you this technique? And basically, Naruto's like, no one taught me that. I taught it myself. And basically, of course, that's a lie. He can't really say it was Jiraiya, but of course he'll tell them in the future, because of course Naruto will have to. In the future, there is no hiding the fact that Naruto came back from a different timeline, thanks to the powers of the Sage of Six Paths, and it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto, of course, being able to beat Tsunade, well, not beat Tsunade, actually, shows Tsunade that he's not weak, and basically, of course, Tsunade still sees, her little brother in Naruto. She still wants to, help the person that, reflects her little brother's, ideals and dreams. Same as, her, I said, way too many times. Same as, her lover, oh my god, I can't stop saying, Anyway, after this, Naruto, Tsunade, Shizune, and Jiraiya actually return to the Leaf Village, and now, Tsunade still heals Lee, and of course Lee thanks Tsunade, but here Sasuke's healed a bit afterwards, and of course Sasuke still gets pissed off that Naruto, Itachi's after Naruto and not himself, and is what it is. Of course, he challenges Naruto, and Naruto here actually has to accept. Of course, everyone thought that, well, Sakura thought that Naruto just didn't want to lose to Naruto, but, to Sasuke, not Naruto, didn't want to lose to Naruto, but still, Naruto has to do this because he doesn't want to alter the timeline for the future, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto and Sasuke have their little clash. Naruto holding back a lot. he has to hold back a ton to not kill Sasuke in the process of actually, trying to line up the two timelines to his one, because he doesn't want to freaking destroy everything that he has built himself. And so he still wants things to be similar, like Sasuke being just as strong or even stronger, and he doesn't believe that Sasuke will get that strong with him, and he still needs to train with the Orochimaru in wherever training Orochimaru set him, and it is what it is. Anywho, after this, of course, Sasuke still meets the Soundfall, and the Soundfall shows Sasuke their power. But just saying, Kakashi still is the one to stop the little quarrel, and the same speech happens. Sorry, I kind of skipped there a bit, but of course, Kakashi still gives the speech on revenge and how he knows people who followed that path, and it just didn't go the way they wanted it to go. And I'll roll in the clip now.
What's this all about?
Sorry, but I knew you wouldn't want to sit still for a lecture, so I figured I had to pin you down. Let it go. You've got to forget about revenge.
What?
Believe me, in this work I've met a lot of guys who feel the way you do. Trust me, for those who follow the path of revenge, it never ends well. You'll only tear yourself apart, and even if you succeed and you get your revenge, what will you have then? Nothing. Emptiness.
Shut up! What makes you think you know anything about it? It's easy for you to talk. You have no idea!
Easy. Just try to calm down.
Maybe if I was to kill the most important people in your life, everyone who's ever meant anything, maybe then I'd listen to you. Because maybe then you'd have some idea how I feel.
It's an interesting theory, but I'm afraid you're a little late to put it to the test.
After this, of course, Naruto and Sasuke still meets the Soundfall, and the Soundfall show him what true power means. And after this, Sasuke still wants to leave the village, and of course, he still goes to Sakura. I mean, he goes in front of Sakura and he knocks the shit out of her, and you know what I mean. The next thing that happens, I don't know why I'm talking like this, but after this, Sasuke, leaves, and of course, Naruto was on the lookout already, and he saw that everything went as normal. He still acted like he didn't know what was happening, and he goes to the Hokage, which is Jiraiya, and here Jiraiya actually creates a team with even Sakura, who is a healer right now. And of course, she's training with Tsunade, who is in the village, and Tsunade is their head healer right now. But it is what it is. Of course, Naruto, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, even Shino was put in the team, and Neji, and Hinata too. Yes, Hinata was put in the team, and 1 minute. Anywho, I put Neji and Hinata. Of course, they go through each battle, and here Choji is the only one to fight alone, and the only person that actually fights Neji fights with Hinata. Of course, Shikamaru fights Tayuya is normal. Choji fights Jirobo, and Kiba fights I'm pretty sure he fought Kidomaru, and he fought Kidomaru, not Kidomaru, sorry, Sakan and Ukon, while Kidomaru was being fought by, Kidomaru was actually being fought by, the two Hyugas, Neji and Hinata, and Sakura was actually helping out Shikamaru, because his chakra reserves were kind of low, and so, Tayuya really needed a beating in that. So, Sakura was the one to actually give it, and of course Naruto here, he still fights, Kimimaro, and here Kimimaro gets annihilated by Naruto, and of course then Lee arrives, and Lee tells Naruto to go ahead, and Naruto is like okay, and here Naruto fights Sasuke, and in the end, of course, he still lets himself get stabbed, and still does the clash, and here Naruto really doesn't have to use Kurama's power. He can actually do it on his own, and just fakes that he actually, loses, but it is what it is. Naruto then wakes up, and actually just fakes that, he failed, and comes back all sad and that, but of course, this is all part of Naruto's plan. But it is what it is, like I said before, and anywho, now, Naruto, of course, still being pursued, Akatsuki is still after Naruto, and so, of course, Naruto actually goes off on his 2-year training with Haku. Yes, it's Haku. Of course, Jiraiya, it was actually with them for the first year. Of course, Jiraiya trained Naruto, and still they made that bond. But of course, Tsunade was getting tired of all the paperwork, and so she actually called back to Jiraiya, and Jiraiya actually went back to the village and that. And now, Naruto, of course, being with Haku, Haku actually has taught him how to, use ice release. And the only reason Naruto was actually able to pull off that feat was because of his, the Sage of Six powers that the Sage has given him. And here, Naruto, not only has he learned a freezing Rasengan, but also Naruto has learned the Ice Palace, which also Haku knows how to use. And it's a pretty over freaking powered power. It literally freezes the whole entire battleground, and he closes them in to one big palace of ice, where the temperature there, it's cold for the opponent, but for the caster, it's really, really, really normal. Anywho, of course, Naruto has other techniques, like the ice piercing jutsu, like the burning ice, which is basically burning ice, and also, he has a lot more techniques. For example, the ice dome, the ice paralyzation, which is basically both ice and lightning release put together. The ice, sorry, 1 second. The ice sword, which then it's basically a sword made out of ice, which is durable as hell, and he can use it. And also, Naruto knows how to use the ice wave, which is just Naruto just laying out ice. And also, he knows how to use the ice avalanche. Of course, we all know what that is. I've used it multiple motherfucking times, but it is what it is. Anywho, after this, Naruto has finished his 2-year training, and of course, Naruto already has Sage Mode, so he doesn't really have to train in it. And now, Naruto actually, unlocked a lot more chakra. Naruto has actually unlocked all 9 Truth Seeker orbs. Yes, Naruto also is close enough to unlocking the Rinne Sharingan. Yes, the Rinne Sharingan. You heard that right. Naruto has the Rinnegan, but Naruto's Rinnegan is special. Of course, Naruto, the Rinnegan, it always is turned on, but of course Naruto's one is special because he is basically now the reincarnation of both Ashura and the Sage of Six Paths. Naruto is actually able to use the Rinnegan like a Sharingan, basically. The Rinne Sharingan, basically, but it is what it is. That is because of the Sage of Six Paths fusing with Naruto, basically. But it is what it is. I have to say it properly. Anywho, now Naruto returns to the village stronger than ever. Pretty much strong. A bit weaker, to be honest. A bit weaker than his Hokage self because of that forbidden form. Of course, Naruto would never use it. Just a tiny bit weaker than that forbidden form. But it is what it is. Naruto only gets one Rinne Sharingan for some reason, though. And that is because of the Sage of Six Paths using most of his power to actually, keep Naruto alive in the first place. But it is what it is. Anywho, now that Naruto's back in the village, he actually, greets everyone, and he actually already knows that he will have to be going on another mission as soon as he returns, and he knows about the death of Chio, but he wants to actually prevent this, and so he actually wants to actually get the well, first Naruto does the belt test, which that goes pretty much the same way, and of course the next day they find out about Gaara being attacked and captured by the Akatsuki, and so Team Kakashi goes off on their own, and here Naruto actually goes off ahead because he already knows where the Akatsuki are hiding, and so he tells his team that he'll be going, he knows where the Akatsuki are, he can feel it. Naruto is a sensory ninja, and remember, Naruto doesn't really feel it, especially because the cave is actually, there's a seal on the cave which actually prevents it from being, sensed, but it is what it is, and so, of course, Naruto then just goes off on his own because he knows where the actual cave is, but of course Kakashi doesn't allow it, so he tells Sakura, how they picked up Temari on the way because they saw her. Sakura and Temari go on their own, and Naruto and Kakashi go on their own. Of course they break in to the they all break in, well, Naruto and Kakashi break into the Akatsuki little hideout thing, and so Naruto actually begins by making a few clones, which then they all attack, but of course Sasori being able to take care of all of them, Naruto then actually tells Kakashi that he should take care of Deidara, and while Naruto takes care of Sasori, and here of course since they haven't even got halfway through, no, they actually got a bit over halfway through the ritual, they actually let go of Gaara, and of course they need to fight these two, and in the end of course they actually all together, well, Deidara and Sasori actually fight together, and Naruto and Kakashi fight together, and of course they were able to easily overpower Sasori and Deidara, and here Sasori, of course, Naruto wants to keep alive. Naruto then actually keeps Sasori alive last second once he's about to kill him. Of course, Deidara is dead by now. Yes, Deidara actually gets killed here and actually gives Sasori a second chance. And of course, Sasori at first declines until, Chio. Yes, it's been a while, and Sakura is a much better healer here because Sakura actually began her training much earlier, and she was already, done with the basics, and so she had more time to actually learn things about like poisons and everything. And you see, Naruto has changed quite a bit of the story, and Chio arrives and asks Sasori to actually return to the sand, and Sasori actually decides to accept this offer and return to the Sand Village, with his grandma and everyone. And of course, he gives the information about Sasuke, which Naruto already knew, but is what is. Of course, they all go, and here Naruto doesn't really want to go into his rampage form, but of course he has to because he he doesn't really have to, but he really wants to use some of the Ninetales' chakra, and the Ninetales is getting bored. So Naruto lets the Ninetales take over, but not over Four Tails, and so the Ninetales has some fun, but in the end, eventually gets stopped by Yamato. Yes, Yamato came along too in case something happened, and it is what it is. And of course this is done by Jiraiya, because of course Jiraiya can't trust Naruto, especially because he gets pretty pissed, especially if it comes to things to do with Sasuke, because of course Jiraiya did try to tell Naruto to move on from Sasuke, but during the 1 year together, but of course Naruto said no and got kind of pissed, and so he didn't know what could happen if he actually saw the man who took Sasuke away from him, and that could have ended up bad, if, well, that's what they think, but it is what it is. Naruto of course allowed the Ninetales just to have its fun, but anyway, after this, Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Sai actually go away, escape. But here Naruto actually wakes up earlier because remember, Naruto wasn't actually literally taken over by the Ninetales. Naruto just allowed the Ninetales to have fun. But it is what it is. Now Naruto, and just saying, Naruto has the full Ninetales here, even though technically he shouldn't. He still has the full 9 tails, but of course, Minato still has his 9 tails, which makes 3 9 tails. 9 tails and a half? I'm confused. Louder thing. Anyway, after this, Naruto. Well, I'll just say that Naruto just has his first half, not the second half. No, should I? Allow me, please, guys, please. Anyway, of course, Sai still follows Orochimaru and Kabuto, and of course, in the end, they find Sasuke, and Sasuke still tries to get into Naruto's head, but of course, that isn't impossible because Naruto, in the end, was actually strong enough to actually scare off Sasuke from his mind, because Naruto's, mind is way too strong for any ninja, unless it's Sasuke with the Rinne Sharingan, to actually get into, and there is no freaking way Sasuke can get in. And just saying, Naruto still got the gift from Itachi, just in case, but of course Naruto actually does know about Itachi and everything, and so he will go and help him. Anywho, that is where I'm gonna end off. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you will take care, stay safe, and also this was the King of Weebs here, and do not forget to subscribe to Kazama, subscribe to Miniman123, subscribe to my friend Hxmesh, subscribe to my friend Ratreet. Also, don't forget to get your merch from Beautiful Halo. Remember, they're the ones sponsoring my channel right now, and you can get 10% off on your next $99 plus order, and 5% off on your next $49 plus order if you use the code MEME, M-I-M-E, and if you get anything, they have free worldwide shipping if on any $49 plus or $29 plus order. And yeah, also don't forget to follow Shoka on Instagram and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also don't forget to join the Discord server. All the freaking links are in the description below. There are a lot of links, so you should do all of them so you don't have to hear. So then from now on you can skip this bit. But of course, if you stay down, if you still listen to me saying this, please just type end of video squad in the comment section below, and also leave a like on this video so I know you guys are enjoying the videos. Anyway, I am making a series a bit shorter from now on, especially because I kind of tested positive. I mean, the symptoms are actually going down, but still I tested positive for corona, and I will be self-isolating until Monday the 26th, and then I shall be restarting the 1 hour videos. But still, from now, it's probably going to be 40 minutes to 1 hour videos. I'm going to try to my best to make it from 40 minutes to 1 hour videos, but for now it is what it is. Anyway, if you go up to here, end of video squad, don't forget, my darklings, to take care, stay safe, do not be like me getting corona. And yeah, some people think I'm capping, but I'm actually not capping. Literally, I got a call today. I was taking a dump in the morning. Today was meant to be my last day here because I was meant to get my results, and my results came back positive. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm such a skunk, fam. How can I be such a moron, fam? I'm an fuck. Anywho, I missed out on like 2 exams today, or maybe like no. I think I missed out on my history exam today, which I wasn't really ready for, but it is what it is. Anywho, my ducklings, you're dismissed. Take care, stay safe, and stay alive. Peace.